Hello and welcome back to the Garnet Chronicles tournament, sponsored by Daily Hive and brought to you by the Gaming Stadium. I'm Momo. I hope you guys enjoyed your break. Kaiso, how you doing? How you feeling about the tournament?
So far, doing great. I think we've seen a lot of the powerful decks that have been popping out, like Evil Rune, and also we've seen a bit of Belphegor early on, and we actually seen one of the deck that I didn't expect to see on stream, which is the Balion Loop deck. Pretty exciting game so far.
Yeah, a lot of diversity has shown up in the meta post nerfs. So it's only been 2 weeks about since the expansion dropped, but there's already been so many shifts in the meta, and I can't wait to see how it'll evolve throughout the season and throughout today. What we'll see people playing as we go further along. Today's event is, of course, put on by Canada's leader in esports, the Gaming Stadium. If you're looking for the next big thing in competitive gaming, look no further. The team at the Gaming Stadium are leaders in online esports tournaments and events. Check out the action at tgs.gg.
Yep. So I think we believe we have our game right now. So looks like another sword game.
Yeah, so we've got Mana Surge's JOYVERSE playing Portal and Shadow against STIGVAR playing Forest and Sword, starting with Sword, looking to be more of the mid-range aggro, not Balion Loop standard Sword as we see Gunslinger, Squirrel, a lot of just rally and early aggressive cards. And on JOYVERSE's side, we're seeing the sort of tempo-oriented mech portal cards. We've got Aeon's Remains. We've got the Puppet card that when a puppet comes into play, it loses all effects, which means that it won't destroy itself at the start of the following turn, but it also loses its rush.
Yeah, so what's more about this puppet play, the threat puppet, is that the fact that it can create tempo, because being able to summon a 1-2 and a 1-1 for turn 2, that's just huge tempo play, 2 bodies. And generally they combo it with puppets. Is it called String Master? I believe it's called String Master, right? Or Puppet Master. Let me just double check what's its name. It's a card that gives you 2 puppets, yeah. So generally just combine with that so that you can generate more puppets for future turns. And right now, STIGVAR's hand looks really good going second, because you have that Blade Rider that allows you to get a free knight involved when you have more EO points. And because you're going second, you can activate it on turn 4.
Yeah. If he wanted to, on turn 3, he could even accelerate the Bunny and Baron and play that in combination with the Blade Right on turn 4 to get a car on turn 5 if he so wanted. But with the frenzied, but with the frenzied Core Master drop, that might be his consideration for turn 3 now.
Yeah. So right here, just playing out the Enforcer here. Enforcer is such a powerful card. Imagine Intolerance. That's just 3 reduction right there.
Are we going to see a Balion fuse? Yes. There it is. Getting that first fuse out of the way, because the first fuse doesn't summon anything. Now, if he has 3 play points and does a second fuse, he'll be getting the Armored Tentacle.
Frenzy Master Deflate here for Temple, such a good card. Being able to have the Accelerate effect to play as a 3 play point card. Having the 7 play point card being able to destroy 3 cards randomly. The important factor about this effect for Frenzy is that it destroys cards, so amulets also counts. So we see here the Tentacle being played as we mentioned. And just going face here, not even considering to trade for the 2-2.
Yeah, here we see Blade Ride's Lieutenant coming out. As you said, he's going second, so he gets that free evolve. He could do a little bit of trading, even trade in the 1-2 and play another Blade Rides to get another free evolve.
Yeah, seems good. It's just that this also increased the ready count for your ready can, because the main sword focuses on reaching the key moments 7 ready to activate your cards such as the Balion spells right here at the Seas. I actually have no idea what they're called, because they're just too used to using it. Brother Unite, there we go. Brother United and Sunny Day Encounter, because they require 7 ready to activate their bonus effect. And also for Ready Can, you can activate the Flying Messenger's Grill, which is a very staple card for Sword, being able to draw through. And right here we just see a easy clean clear with the puppets being summoned by the mannequin. No mannequin, sorry.
Yeah, the marionette.
Marionette. My bad, marionette. There we go.
Unfortunately, there's no absolute tolerance in the hand, because the marionette, when you evo and trade with it with all 3 puppets, reduces absolute tolerance by 10 all by himself.
Yeah, that's like a lot of reduction. That's why we just see how valuable and how easy it is to reduce tolerance with the puppet counterpart. And as people have been showing, if you guys have been following the game, there were tolerance drop as early as turn 6 because of all this high value by the puppet version, where you can just keep training your puppets. Even this big golden this is this goes away. You can also use for 7. Generally just strong reduction. And here we just see Cat Emerald doing a lot of work here, being able to summon 2 more followers, even a ward to protect itself, and triggering, I believe this turn triggers, it triggers the Flying Messenger 0, ready 10. So you do 3 here, and you do 2 with Cat Emerald, just very strong tempo.
Yeah, going with a tempo turn where he plays out multiple cards rather than going for either of the 5 drops on that turn. Clearing out the board and pushing a little bit of face. Pretty good.
So Mega Enforcer here, you can draw 1 card first, you will draw.
And the marionette not only does put in a lot of work on turn 5 when you play it out for full cost, when you accelerate it for 1, it'll evolve a puppet, as we're seeing here, which can really help on just like clearing out boards. It can also be played in combination with the 1/2 that we see that is just drawn into the hand to kind of get a 3/3 puppet that sticks around. But this one will be used to trade out.
Exactly. So the unfortunate part about JOYVERSE hand is that there is no tolerance hand, so all these reductions are that you're not going to reduce anything. Yeah, missing.
Yeah.
But STIGVAR doesn't know that. STIGVAR might be afraid, might be counting. There might be a tolerance in hand. So
unfortunately, there's not a lot of playing around the tolerance that STIGVAR can do. So even though he could have a consideration in his mind, there's not much he can really do about it if it were in the hand.
This is well, we have options. We can we can Brother Unite the 5/4. We can do that. Brother Unite is just a very powerful card. Being able to deal 4 damage to a follower for 1 play point and generate a 3 for your Balian cost. On the other hand, we also have Barney and Baron, which has been buffed recently. I believe 2 expansion number. I don't remember what it was it?
I think it might have been middle of last expansion. I'm not sure. But yes, it did see the buff.
Yep. And saw a lot of plays, and like Barney and Baron just being a staple in most slot decks now, because being able to play at 5 play point when it triggers its last word, being able to summon a 4/4 storms that when you maneuver with 2 play points or less, which Sword mostly plays 2 play point or less swords, so that you are 2 play point or less followers to trigger the maneuver of the card, which is easy to do it. And you can combo with cards like Albert, which is 5 play points, so 2 + 5, that's 7. And here we see the Tentacle being summoned, and Maisha here just beating this leading Baron right there, 15 damage right there.
15 damage, and just still, like, if there was just an absolute tolerance in hand, the reduction would be so nice. But the hand is looking very empty.
Yeah, there's a problem with the Baphomet deck, is that because you keep fusing materials for Baphomet, you will run out of hand eventually, and the cards you generate are generally tokens for puppets, so that's why you see like the amount of hand that JOYVERSE has is just reducing everything. But as long as JOYVERSE reaches the 9, it's not an issue, right? Because once we just slam down that sweet Baphomet, Sword generally doesn't have an answer to its Baphomet board.
Alright, so we see STIGVAR using the Gunslinger. Is that what she's called?
Yeah, she's called Gunslinger. There we go.
She's using that 1/1 to clear out the board, but kind of at an awkward position here, where if he wants a card to get in the bike, he's gonna have to either put the cat admiral on the bike, or doing some drawings first, which I like the drawing, finding out what his options are. If you play the shield phalanx here, the ward will get in the bike. So probably play the cat admiral. You don't. I mean, it could be an interesting little interaction to put the giant ward in the bike and then, or the car, and then when the car is destroyed, it leaves. But rally is at 15, so we have the frenzied core master getting invoked from the deck at the end of turn, and the deck, or not the deck, the hand for JOYVERSE is dry. He is in a bad position here, not able to clear even the 5/5 here.
Yeah, if you were going second, a certain card in his hand would allow him to go into a turn 8 Baphomet. That's why some people argue that maybe going second is the way for Baphomet, because if you ram once with Ramil, you can play a turn 8 Baphomet. But unfortunately, this isn't the world we live in. So, like you say, this is very, very sad, because the problem with the trade name Threat Sniper is that the puppet doesn't rush, so you can't even give it rush to trade. So I think the best thing you can do here is just create tempo. But either way, Joyce dead to bot, because this is lethal on bot.
Yeah, you can just trade out the 2/2, go face with the remaining followers, and call it a day. Or call it a game. Yep. Game 1.
I'll retreat for
game
now.
STIGVAR. So as we can see, despite how powerful the late game for Mac Porter, if you don't reach the late game stage, it's not gonna help you at all. You will run out of resources eventually. So a very interesting game right there. So now I believe we are left with the Forest deck from STIGVAR, and Joy still had to win with both of his Porter and Shadow deck, which we still haven't seen what kind of Shadow deck he's running.
Well, we'll see it now. He's switched over to the Shadow deck.
What a kind leader, very cultured. Anyway, last with Shadow.
And
Fairy Healer.
Fairy Healer.
It's a bounce. Bounce are powerful.
Corrosive Thorns. A lot of interesting cards right off the bat for the Forest player.
Yeah, very, very spicy cards. I hardly see them, but I'm intrigued to see what they can do in this game. So there we go, Fairy. I would say Fairy. What's his name again? Fairy Flower. What? I've been using the card so long, I don't even know his name. Wait, let me just double check his correct name. Wind Fairy. There we go. Wind Fairy is just a very powerful card.
Oh yeah, Wind Fairy is definitely a powerful card. If this is a combo Latika deck, then those Wind Fairies are key now post nerfs into getting a Latika up to 12 cards played. And we do see an Aria, which is often included in that deck. Link Staffs, Necromancer being played out here as a good 3/3 on 3.
Yep, last words being able to just draw your card as well. Oh, three Wind Fairy. Okay, Wind Fairy is great, but without any proper bounce target, it's not going to do much.
Yeah. But at least we've got Alberta for this turn to just trade out the 2/2, have some play this turn. The Tree of Wonders will be summoning a 1/1 fairy with Ward.
But unfortunately, we can still, we can just split it out and rush and trade. Rush, and then just face it 3/3.
Getting a nice early aggressive start for the Last Word Shadow here.
Yep. Just taking advantage of the going first turn, because when you're going first, you can play more powerful tempos earlier than your opponent. So it's just very strong to the set of tempo. But the advantage of going second for the Forest player is that you're able to activate your Aria effect right now. So as we can see here, Aria is activated. So from now on, any fairy that comes to play, they gain 1 attack and the last word effect where they deal 1 damage to your opponent. So this setup
and they also gain
tempo.
Rush.
Yes, they also gain Rush, so they can start trading, removing board, which is a problem for Shadow, because Shadow's specialty is just making board, and the more board you make, the more trade targets you give for your fairies, your opponent's fairy. So it's not a good position for you, because you're gonna just keep taking damage, you're just gonna lose your board, and STIGVAR here just chooses to use the whips here. Interesting decision.
Yeah, he's using the wisp to trade out the 1/1, which might signify that this isn't a Latika combo deck. These Corrosive Thorns in hand also combo with the Aria leader effect because they summon a fairy, and if at least 2 other cards have been played during the turn, they'll summon 2 fairies. And this card also gives all allied fairies clash, deal 1 damage to the enemy follower. Sort of a, if you've been around for a while, a Brambles effect.
Yep. Here we just see playing out the Ripper, drawing 2 cards, just to set up the last words count so that it can reach 10 last words.
A lot of Bones Fanatics.
Yep. Like Bone Fanatic is a card that still baffles me how powerful this card is. Being 1 play point, being able to summon another one, a 1/1 after it gets destroyed. Like it just creates so much tempo, so sticky. Like if the thing stays on turn 1, it can potentially deal a lot of damage over time. And now we see STIGVAR's hand just not looking too hot right now. You can clear the board, but I don't see how STIGVAR is reaching his win game. I don't see what's the daughter name? I always forgot the name as well. Sekka? Was the name Sekka? Yeah, I don't see a Sekka.
That's my daughter.
I don't see. Yeah, I don't see Shamushana. Like I don't see a win con for STIGVAR. Like, STIGVAR has a lot of way to trade off the board, but there's no actual win con. So I think Tree of Wonders is a good start to start digging for your win cons.
Yeah. Interesting. Going with playing the fairy out, then playing the Tree of Wonders, and then the Corrosive Thorns, getting a bunch of fairies with that Brambles effect, and then trading everything out.
Yep. It's just a better iteration, I think, because the more board that Shadow make, the more things that the Forest player can trade. And here we see another interesting card, Fairy Assault.
There's a lot of fairy generators in this deck. That seems like a very Arya-focused deck. Like, we've seen Arya be an assistance tool to other archetypes, like Sekka Forest last set, or to Latika combo this set. But STIGVAR seems to be going for, Arya is all that matters to me. Let's summon a lot of fairies.
Yeah, if you always draw Arya, you won't have a problem at all. Let's play a focused Arya deck. It's fine.
Yeah.
There's the Dreamer here. I wonder what he's dreaming about.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing to think about. Like, I didn't know skeletons could have dreams in the first place. And, like, he's kind of got the cowboy look, so is he dreaming about, cowboy
Being a cowboy,
things?
maybe? Sheriff? I have no idea. I was gonna say, being a skeleton means you have dead dream. Okay, we can't. You know what? Just ignore what I said. Anyway, right now, I think we can basically... I'm not sure about how this fairy... The 2 play point that bounces.
I mean, you could clash, because this fairy does have that Brambles effect, you could clash it into the 4/1, right? And then you could bounce it. And then you could bounce the Tree of Wonders. And then you could fuse the fairy into the Tree of Wonders to get a lot of draw, because right now you're not doing too many things. STIGVAR, starting with bouncing the Tree of Wonders, looks to be wanting to play that wisp to trade the Kagero, maybe?
Yep. Like, as you say, you see the Bramble effect, so the fairy can trade into the 4 for free. The only corrosion.
Another corrosive, so we can do a lot more trading.
So I believe, as you say, he's probably gonna bounce one of the fairies to fuse. Maybe that's a play.
Yeah, go face with this fairy first, maybe? Oh, go into bounce with the fairy healer. And then Alberta effect is active, so there's Alberta. So getting in some damage. Timer. Spectator timer.
There we go. Alright.
Oh, even got the fairy out.
Yeah. Interesting. I never knew that fairy healer heals for 4.
Yeah.
Quite obvious that now you think about it. Healers heals for 4. Like, healing for 4 is a huge amount in Shadowverse, because generally these kind of cards where they have effects like bounce or bouncing is very strong in Forest. So I was expecting it maybe heals for only 2.
Alright, we've got Wicked Rebirth summoning 2. Got Chris.
Ghostly Rider,
Ghostly Rider. STIGVAR was able to
so
put
good
in a little bit of damage last turn, but now that there's all these wards, how are we gonna handle this?
Yep. The thing is that STIGVAR can still clear this board if he trades correctly. From what I've been seeing, was that assault is 4 fairies, I believe.
It is 4
Fairy
fairies.
assault. So that is 8 damage
And the
to the
fairy
board.
on the board, this fairy on the board doesn't have the Corrosive Thorns effect. It was the last fairy played out last turn, I believe. So that is an aspect to consider here.
Okay, so we're just trading right now.
Starting with the fairy assault. Yeah, doing all this trading.
I will protect even in death.
As you can see, even though he's like just trading, simply just removing the board, you can see JOYVERSE life doesn't look too hard, sitting at 6 HP, just because of how much this fairy deals. Because one fairy signifies 1 damage, and the more STIGVAR trades, the more damage he deals over time. It just shows you how powerful this deck is. Like, you can just stall and heal with fairy healer and stuff like that, and just keep trading. And looks as if they evolve to trade off the Skeleton Dreamer.
What a game.
And
all this damage is really coming from fairies.
Yeah, like not even from Sekka or Shamushana, which we typically see from a game, just based on fairies and Abelda. Yeah, Abelda and fairies, just all. So much damage.
So we do have a lot of damage here from JOYVERSE as well. The Link staff has Storm, and Necro Impulse is a card, so 13 plus 6 more, not even including buffing the followers. I think that's a lethal. So even though STIGVAR was staying pretty healthy with those fairy healers, Necro Impulse does a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think a lot of players have been talking about Necro Impulse being one of the strongest cards that they've seen in for Shadow Crown in particular, because it's such a flexible card. Or play point, being able to buff the followers so that followers on board also get the bonus damage, and being able to summon ghosts that go storms. So in general, just a very strong finisher. And 10 necromancy isn't like expensive at all. It's kind of like cheap for Shadow in particular. But an interesting game at all.
Yeah.
So
that set was 1-1, and here we are going into that third game.
Final set. JOYVERSE again. So we once again we will see like I believe this is tempo matchup. Oh no, it's not tempo. Sorry. The Mag Portal versus the Sword matchup. So wait, no. Okay, sorry. The Forest matchup versus the Portal. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. So getting out the alien remains is very important, because you'll be able to fetch out like your Baphomet, even fetching out your Enforcers to play as a turn 2 play. So pretty good standard play. Oh, there we go. We see Sekka. We see more standard cards now from STIGVAR. Cards like Fabled.
This hand makes it look like last game was a different deck.
Yeah.
But here we go, getting that first fuse into that Baphomet. We see a Dimension Duplicator. We know Maisha is in his deck in the other game that he played. So he does have that combo within his deck.
So I think... Oh, just gonna trade it right here.
Yeah, he's trading so that he can get fused material for that Baphomet, I believe. To get a Armored Tentacle.
Yep. You have to get out the free ward. Like, Armored Tentacle is just a very strong card on tempo. Thinking a 2-4. It's very hard to clear. And you're going first as well.
Are we going to see STIGVAR trade in and then fuse a fairy into the Tree of Wonders? Last game, he never fused the fairy into the tree, I don't believe. He was playing out his fairies. So there we go. Fusing it in.
He's going to do it. So now the issue is that one, STIGVAR doesn't have Arya. And from what we've seen, his deck does seem like a very Arya-centric deck. So, and another problem arises that how does it deal with this tentacle? Because his Sekka can't actually target it.
But his Sekka can target the 4-2 tentacle and then just trade over the 2-3 ward and then get bounced back into hand. It's a perfectly easy solution for Sekka right here.
But you take 2 damage from the tentacle.
You just play another follower, right? You can just
Yeah,
you already
just
have
play
2
the
Sekkas in
50-50.
hand, so you could play like Sekka and then bounce Sekka with the healer, and then Sekka Evo trade and hope that you get lucky. I forgot about the 2 damage from the Assault Tentacle.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. You can just get lucky. Or
Yeah,
you could clear out the 4-1 with the Sekka Evo, and then just leave the 2-3 if you prioritize keeping Sekka alive. Or you can forget that the that the Assault Tentacle deals 2 damage like I do, and then start to make this play and then realize your mistake halfway through it.
Wait, let's find out. See?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or maybe he's just maybe his intention is to just leave up the 2-3.
Yeah, or maybe he thinks that, you know what, this Sekka can go away, it's fine.
Yeah, I've got 2. Don't need it.
Yeah, don't need it. You got another one.
Yeah. Got another one, and you got bounces. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
With this pause in the gameplay, I think that there we go. We're saying the Sekka gets to get traded out.
Living
is that just
up
the String Master? And yeah, probably just ending the turn at this point. You don't want to bounce the Tree of Wonders at this point.
Yep. String Master is very powerful to leave up because the String Master generates more puppet value, which will be valuable in this matchup because fairies are generally 1 defense, so puppets will be very. Just gonna play Enforcer here. You play out the Gizmo to maybe get a better hand. Oh, there we go. Tolerance right here.
Now JOYVERSE is gaming.
Yes, now there's a purpose in going face and trading with your followers. Before this, there was no purpose, just like most people are. But yes, now we have purpose with basically trading with followers. Like Gizmo here, also interesting card because when you evolve Gizmo, right, you get the Ancient Artifact, which also. Yep. Wait, is that top deck? Wait, it was top deck?
Arya top deck!
I guess some people are just born to play Shadowverse, you know?
Yeah, some people are really living their best life. I've been there. I've been on an Arya top deck situation where like things are looking grim and then you just boom, Arya here to save the day. I mean, Arya is not going to single-handedly win him this turn right now, but it's definitely going to help make this a more even game.
Yeah, a second tolerance right there, but okay, here's the dilemma. So the is it called Furious? Let me just double check the spell name again.
Nefarious
Invasion. Nefarious Invasion, there we go.
Nefarious
the dilemma
Invasion.
is that if you play Invasion right here, you are not gonna get the bonus enhance effect next turn, which is very, very good, where you can summon an Armored Tentacle and the Assault Tentacle and grab a random Machina from your deck. So if you use it here right now, he's gonna use it. You missed out the bonus effect, and you can just do stuff here.
He has no better play here. I think fusing the Buffet was definitely something he had to do. It was just a matter of whether or not he's going to play that Nefarious Invasion, but leaving up Arya is just too dangerous, so having to use it here before he could enhance it.
Like, it's definitely a safer play. There is a consideration to maybe keep the invasion, but yes, the understandable reasoning is that leaving up a 5-1 attack is very dangerous. So focusing back to STIGVAR, his Sekka's not yellow, so I assume it's not even 10 followers destroyed or leave yet for his side. So he did draw the
another Arya.
Yeah, another Arya, which is we can play it out so that later turns it doesn't feel more awkward to get out the fairy, or you can just play out Fairy Slugger and do a Grand Slam right now.
Yeah. Are we gonna see this? So we're seeing the Wisp get played out and the Slugger, of course, evolved. Are we going to see a Fairy Healer played to just get better board presence and cards played and bounced and all of that as well here?
Yeah, we can actually bounce the Wisps. I don't think it's a bad idea as well, because Wisps are very powerful cards because they are 0 play point and they are basically free trades, and they can trigger your plate cards such as Shamushana or your Abelta.
Yeah, we're seeing the Wisp getting bounced here with the Deepwood Wolf and then getting played back for a Shamushana play here.
Scaredy mouse.
Shamushana here. Shamushana is just a very powerful card. Just getting it back.
Even bouncing Shamushana. Yep.
Again,
so a very interesting turn where a lot of Forestcraft followers left play.
So setting up for the Sekka from STIGVAR. And interestingly for JOYVERSE, again, we see the same situation where he's just running out of steam. Like, there was no resources left to survive for a 10-9 battle. Because that's how the deck struggles, where you ideally want a Nephros Invasion on 7 so that you can keep up the tempo and board control so that you can stall for 10-9. So, interestingly, he still has an Evolve, so he can still use his Evolve point for multi-purposes, and he can still fuse the Belphegor to get, I believe he has the Storm version, get it off, and
yeah.
Do we play
again, as you said, very awkward, choosing to just float that 4 play points.
Basically, I think it's the decision to save your resources, because you don't really have much on turn 8, right? So you want to save your resources for turn 8 so you can maybe use the Evo point to clear out with the Outward. The name Outward? I believe it's Out. Wait. All these cards, I don't see them too often. There we go. Dimension Dominator. Not even Outward, not even close. Dimension Dominator involves the trade, and you even have the Threat Sniper trade as well. So basically saving the Evo for more resources to trade right here. And you see here STIGVAR just grabbing those Sekka spells with the bounces. So maybe this makes sense. Like, the thing is that for STIGVAR's deck, the fairies are usually used to trade. So if there's no board to trade, there's nothing you can't go face with the fairies. But you can play like Shamushana. Yeah, you can play Shamushana. Go face.
Yeah, I think once this board is cleared out, our Sekka will be at a good 20 or very close to it. So.
Oh, that's another Belphegor. We don't want to see that.
Yeah. As you mentioned earlier, just wanting to make it to turn 9, getting to that late game and surviving these mid-turns where the hand can get pretty awkward when you use up all your resources early.
Yeah, that's why the deck, despite how easy for some people in the community to say it, is kind of like a resource deck, because you need to be wary of what you can and cannot do to survive turn 9. So right here, Joy can't even use the puppet. That's the problem with Threat Sniper, is that in late game, the puppet, you want to use a puppet trade, because like for example, this scenario, the puppet will be great trading into like at least a fairy that's now 2 attack. Like, yes, you'll be taking 1 damage, but at least better than taking 2 right now. And do I spy leader?
Depends on what Sekka is at, but quite possibly.
Favorite trades here, gets fairy. Like, the thing is that because of how little board presence that Porter has, you can't really trade much with.
Oh yeah, X equals
fairies.
20 per second. We've got a bounce. We've got 3 Sekka spells. This is
lethal.
This is lethal, and he's not missing it. Ooh, Sekka lethals in this expansion.
Even the emo.
Even a not bad emo.
Yeah.
That's my daughter right there. I'm so proud. Look at her go. 13 damage to the noggin.
The set goes to STIGVAR over Joy with a 2-1 win. Very, very dominant performance from this the Arya deck alone, because like, as you can see, like as long as you're building towards your win con, which is Sekka, you can do OTKs like that. Like, even if theoretically you play out the ward from Belphegor, you can still deal 13 damage evolve towards the ward and still go face for 13. So just showing how powerful the deck is, being able to trade boards, being able to set up your damage over time. Like, Sekka is a very complete deck, but of course this is all possible with 1 card called Arya. So generally, this the bread and butter of the deck.